Hello everyone, it's time for another Read Good challenge video, and this is the book for March, which was Oscar adapted read-up book that has been turned into an Oscar nominated film. And at first I was a little bit hesitant about this prompt because I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm not up to date on what makes the Oscars or not. It's not something I'm interested in. But there's a list, and I checked the list, and I saw there was a few Agatha Christie's in the list. And last year I did read one Agatha Christie, so I thought it would be a good shout to go for another Agatha Christie and keep building my Agatha Christie reading situation. And the one I picked was Death on the Nile. Death on the Nile is a Hercule Poirot novel. So it follows Hercule Poirot, the investigator, and the majority of the novel takes place in the Nile, cruise in the Nile, and Poirot just happened to be there on holidays, which makes me think he should not be on holidays ever, because apparently every time he travels for pleasure, someone is murdered wherever he goes. But that aside, this book mostly focuses on three people. Lynette is a very rich, very pretty, very young girl that is very, very privileged, and everyone seems to love her, but at the same time, because she's so perfect, there's also people that seem to hate her. And then her best friend Jackie, or Jacqueline, at the beginning of the book talks about having met this man Simon, and she's very in love, but he doesn't have a job, and he needs a job so that they can get married. So she asks her friend and Lynette to give a job to this man, and a few months later it seems that Lynette and this man are married, and they are going on a cruise to the Nile as their honeymoon, and Jackie is following them around out of spite, it seems. And that's the setup where we start the book on. And the first half of the book, it's almost kind of trying to figure out the relationship between these three people, and obviously because of the title you know that someone is going to get murdered, but you are almost not sure who of them is going to be murdered. And then when that happens, of course, it's a classical Poirot story in which you have a very confined environment with a lot of suspects with different motives, and you're trying to figure out which one of them actually did it. So I have now finished this, and I did like it. I did like it better, I think, than the previous Agatha Christie that I read, which was Murder in the Orient Express. One of the things I liked about this is that the first half of the book, nobody has even died, and we kind of follow some of the main characters, and it's almost like a guess of who is actually going to die. And then in the second half we actually go into the classical Poirot setup, in which they are all locked up into this boat, and there are a lot of different people that happen to have a lot of different reasons why they would want to kill the person that died, and we just kind of go through all of them. And Agatha Christie is very good at, every time Poirot talks to someone, you start thinking that that's the murderer, so everyone is kind of a suspect. The other thing that I also appreciated was that it has a map of the boat, so you could not only you could see where everyone is located, but also you had like all of the names of all the passengers, which is good because sometimes like some of the names merge with each other, so I like to have a reference of the people that are in the boat. And yeah, the explanation of this one was a little bit more satisfying than the Murder on the Orient Express one. I think it was I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but it was less convoluted than the other one, so I like that more. And yeah, I think in that sense, in the mystery side of things, this was better for me. There were still a few things that, I mean, are of the time as well. Some of the ways that people talk about the women in this book, like the gentleman saying, "Oh no, the lady cannot possibly have chose that gun, it's too big for her," that kind of thing, which is a little bit annoying, but it's what you expect with something that was written in the 30s. And then the other thing that I found a little bit strange is that obviously there are people in the boats that just work in the boat, and it seems that those people were not even remotely like thought of as possible candidates to kill anybody, which I thought was kind of strange. And I guess we had a similar thing in Murder on the Orient Express, but I think there is less people that work in a train than the people that work in a boat. So yeah, in that sense I found that a little bit classist as well, but it's good fun, and it's exactly what I was hoping for when I picked it up. And yeah, I will probably read more Agatha Christie in the future. So that's all for me for this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have read this or any other Agatha Christie, or if you're doing the Read Good challenge, what else are you reading for the challenge. And until next video, bye!